And, you know, you look at his play this year, he's playing at that same kind of level. He has a chance, if he keeps up his statistics, to do 50% from the field, 40 behind the line, and 90 from the three-point line. That would be his fourth time. Nobody has ever done that as LeBron James knocks down that long jump shot.
How about the Cleveland Cavaliers, who have won 13 in a row? As we mentioned earlier, best record in the NBA. Here's Stoudemire. Arie Stoudemire, focus of much trade speculation. Garnett not able to hang on. A lot of stories floating around concerning Amar'e.
You know, after the Dallas made the trade with Washington, I think you're going to start to see the dominoes starting to fall. Now, it usually takes that first trade, and then people start making things happen after that.
Well, if I'm Danny Ferry and Mike Brown, I seriously have to think about it. You see the follow there by Amar'e Stoudemire about team chemistry. This is a team that's won 13 in a row. A lot of those games without Mo Williams and Delonte West, you seriously have to think about messing as Superman Dwight Howard. Just a little two-footer to go.
You're very close here to Shaquille O'Neal.
I know.
To your right, who is very upset with you in particular off the game we did the other day. Duncan backs it home for constant references. There's Shaq to Dwight Howard as Superman. And as you know, Wade. As you know, Shaq feels that he is the Superman.
And he is.
Basically a false controversy.
Marv, I wondered why, when you and I and Reggie were all sitting there getting ready to do our open, he came over and really warmly acknowledged us and really just shunned Reggie. He didn't even acknowledge him.
There you guys go. Already started. You had Charles kind of egging on Dwight on Friday night about is he going to man up the next time he plays Shaq.
Stoudemire with the layup. So the West with a 12-7 lead. 4 minutes gone by. James with the fadeaway. Rebounded by Stoudemire. Nash with the lead for Anthony.
Well, you can see the start of this game. The East is shooting all jump shots, and the West, other than Dirk Nowitzki knocking down those two jumpers, they are attacking and getting layups. That's why they have the lead here early.
Wade went behind the back. Garnett, yes. Kevin Garnett in his 13th All-Star game. This is 10th start. All-Star game MVP back in 2003 as a member of the Minnesota Timberwolves. 5th pick by Minnesota back in 1995. Defensive Player of the Year, the spark plug to the Boston Celtics winning that title.
Well, hopefully we'll finally, as Carmelo Anthony goes back door and gets a lay-in, we'll see the real Boston Celtic teams in this second half. They've gotten everyone healthy. Marquise Daniels is back from that thumb injury, and now Doc Rivers has his full complement of players to go against the likes of Dwight Howard knocking down a three-pointer.
And then checking his hand.
And then he looked over at Stan Van Gundy and says, don't just put me in the paint, coach. I can roll out on all those pick and rolls and shoot threes, too. Just what Stan needs is another three-point shooter on that team.
On the subject of the Celtics, what a doubleheader we have coming up Thursday night. Denver playing at Cleveland, and then the Celtics and the Lakers in L.A. at Staples. Howard looking to do it off the dribble against Stoudemire, and again pops from deep. Rebounded by Anthony.
Come on, Dwight, don't get ahead of yourself now.
Carmelo got the step, and it's rejected. Garnett.
That's why he's leading the league in block shots as well as rebounding.
And here's Howard. It counts on the foul.
You know, Marv, just to finish up, we were talking about the Boston Celtics. Doc Rivers looking forward to the start of this, all-star break. The game starting once again. Boston's out on the road. They're at Sacramento, at the Lakers, at Portland, at Denver. So they start out with 4 road games. So the Boston will be severely tested coming out of this break, and they limped in, obviously winning, 5 of their last 13 games. So they have got to get their act together.
Foul on Nowitzki, leading to that three-point play for Dwight Howard. The West up by 1. We're halfway through this first quarter. Duncan tried to shake off Howard and lost it. Wade slipping it to James. That's a pretty good combination.
Guys that won a gold medal in Beijing.
Here's Anthony. Carmelo Anthony, who has been injury hit. He's had ankle problems. Did have that 50-point game against the Knicks earlier this season. Looks like he has the fresh legs early on. Carmelo leading the West with 8 points as a timeout is called.
Well, I wonder what Shaq is thinking now, because you've had the second Superman knock down a 3. He's up in the air.
My name.
Welcome back to the NBA All-Star Game from Cowboy Stadium in Arlington, Texas. The world's largest dome stadium. 105,000 were on hand for the Cowboys opener against the Giants. Close to that many expected here tonight. Built at a cost of $1.15 billion. It's the All-Star Game this year, the Super Bowl next year, and the Final Four in 2014. And for more on Cowboy Stadium, let's go to David Aldridge.
Craig, I live in Washington, D.C. I'm a bit of a Redskins fan, but even I'm impressed by the jumbo big Jerry vision that we have here at Cowboy Stadium. It is more than 11,500 feet. It's the largest HD television set in the world. Jerry Jones and Mark Cuban, who brought this game here, are hoping for 100,000 people. There will be at least more 90,000 fans here tonight. Seating capacity is 80,000, but they're going to go for the 6 figures if they can, Marv.
All right, guys. This is a city also that has dug itself out of a record snowfall. It was the great snowfall of 2010. Chris Bosh of the Raptors and a local Dallas product who just checked in, coming up with a bucket. They measured a record-breaking 12.5 inches of snow, which did affect things on Thursday and Friday, but they got past it. And as you look around this stadium, you can see the crowd has turned out. It'll be interesting to see what the final count is. They, as David said, they're hoping for 100,000. Rajon Rondo of the Boston Celtics, who just came on, called for the foul. Pau Gasol of the Los Angeles Lakers about to check in. Paul Pierce of the Boston Celtics has come on, fresh off the win last night in the three-point shootout.
You know, Marv, one of the things about this game that I like early is the fact that they're not throwing the ball, trying to make spectacular plays and turning the ball over. 1 turnover for the East and 7 assists for the West, and only 2 turnovers. A lot of times we see this spectacular play being made and the ball thrown around. The guys are doing a good job taking care of the ball and playing good ball.
So Rondo at the point. Mentioned earlier, the Celtics have been struggling as of late. They have been an injury-hit team, and we've had an unusual number of early fouls called. The All-Star game not noted for free throw attempts or fouls being handed out. That's on Gasol, and here's LeBron James to the line as we remind you that national coverage of the NBA continues Tuesday. On NBA TV, it's the Suns and the Grizzlies starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Wednesday on ESPN, the Suns and the Mavericks starting at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And we mentioned earlier, Thursday on TNT, it's an action-packed doubleheader. The Denver Nuggets playing the Cleveland Cavaliers in Cleveland. Cleveland will be going for its 14th straight win. Denver, second best record in the West behind the Lakers, and the Lakers are home for the Celtics.
Expect Kobe Bryant to be back playing in that game. Obviously not playing tonight in the All-Star game because of the ankle injury as Chauncey Billups turns the ball over.
Chauncey Billups of the Nuggets, also a late ad, checking in for the first time. Pierce off, Gasol with the rebound. Also keep in mind, Thursday is the NBA trade deadline. Billups knocks it down from downtown.
That was the guy I picked last night to win the three-point shootout. Paul Pierce probably was the low man to win that as he curls in with the lay-in. First Celtic to win the three-point shootout since Larry Legend.
Here's Billups again for 3. James accelerates. James comes up short. Nowitzki with the outlet for Darren Williams, who just came on, and looks like Williams lost his balance, step out of bounds.
You know, Marv, I just did a Denver Nugget game the other night, and I was talking to George Karl, and I said, you know, it seems to me like Chauncey Billups loves that third quarter, really likes to come out and get off shooting his three-point shots, and he said he shoots them better when he's fresh, and it makes sense. He came right off the bench, and he took 2 threes, knocked 1 in. So he said normally when his legs are fresh is when he looks to shoot the threes. That's why you see it a lot in the third quarter coming out of the halftime.
George told